So you're following keto, but you're frustrated because you keep hitting a stall. You're not losing the weight. You're frustrated. Well, in this video, I'm gonna break down 9 sneaky mistakes you might be making on keto and how to fix them. Let's do this. Hey Keto Camper, Ben Azadi here, best-selling author, certified functional health practitioner, founder of Keto Camp. Here at Keto Camp, we're on a mission to educate and to inspire 1 billion people on planet Earth. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm gonna break down these 9 sneaky mistakes you might be making. Number 9 on this list might be contradictive to what you've been learning on keto so far. It might be controversial, but the way I'm gonna explain it will make a lot of sense for you. So without further ado, let's get into these 9 mistakes you might be making. Before I get into the first mistake, I want you to really understand what is the cause of weight gain. And here I have drawn a beautiful cell. We have 70 trillion cells in the body, and the human body is amazing. And this is how it works. I'm just going to give you a brief biology lesson here, but if you understand this, then the 9 steps I'm gonna share with you will make all the difference. When we have a healthy body with healthy amounts of inflammation, we have the body working like this way. We have our hormones, we have our nutrients, we have our oxygen, all communicating with our cells. That's what it is. Hormones are chemical messengers. Your fat-burning hormones, your anti-aging hormones. They send signals to your cells. Your cells pick it up. It tells your DNA and to turn on good genes. It tells your mitochondria to produce energy, and your body blasts fat, feels good, you live a long, healthy life. What's blocking this from happening when you hit a stall on keto? The number 1 reason is inflammation. And when I say inflammation, I am not referring to a sprained ankle or a sore shoulder. Yes, that's inflammation too, but I'm talking about cellular inflammation, okay? When you have cellular inflammation, all of a sudden these receptor sites are inflamed, so the hormones are still sending signals. Maybe you're taking hormones, so it's still showing up in the blood as normal. You're eating the best keto foods in the world. You're doing whatever breathing exercises, doing hyperbaric oxygen chamber. But if it's not getting into the cell, you're not going to feel well. It's like you screaming at me, but la 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 la. I have my fingers in my ears. I can't hear you. That's what's happening when you have inflammation. So I'm about to reveal 9 hidden mistakes on keto that's causing this inflammation. And if you follow the solutions that I'm about to reveal to you, you'll reduce inflammation. And guess what? A side effect will be weight loss, because weight gain, weight loss resistance is not the problem. Nobody in the history of this world has a weight problem. When I was obese, I didn't have a weight problem. I had a weight symptom. You take care of the cause, a side effect, the symptoms go away, meaning you finally lose weight and feel good. So let's get into the first reason why you might be messing up on keto. The number 1 reason why I see somebody struggle on keto and feel like crap is because of sluggish bile. Your liver, which is the soccer mom organ of all organs, she does everything and anything. She lives right here. She is such a power player. She stimulates bile, your liver does. Bile is a detergent for all the fat-soluble vitamins you're eating on keto, vitamins A, D, E, and K. Those nutrients are healing to the body. But if you don't have proper bile function, it'll be very difficult to break down that fat. And what ends up happening is you get stomach issues and you feel like crap when you're not producing healthy bile. Let's face it, most people have a sluggish liver. They don't have healthy bile function. A second problem here with sluggish bile is when your body's burning fat on keto, it releases fat cells into the bloodstream. And the bile could bind those toxins and get out of the body. But if you have sluggish bile, it's not doing that. You auto-intoxicate those toxins, you feel like crap, you actually increase inflammation and actually could gain weight on keto. Not good. So how do you fix this? What's the solution? Bitters are better. I talk about it so often in my videos. Here is a list of foods to incorporate on keto to help with bile production, and yes, it will help with weight loss. So I hope you have your pen and paper ready. I'm gonna put it down below as well in the notes of this video. Here's the list. Arugula, dandelion greens, dandelion tea, ginger tea, artichoke. Artichoke, by the way, is a keto powerhouse because not only does it help you stimulate bile, it has fiber, which slows down the breaking down of fat, which can be good if you have sluggish bile. Also, organic shade-grown coffee, My favorite is from Purity Coffee. If you head over to ketocampcoffee.com and use KetoCamp at checkout, you'll get 10% off of my favorite coffee. This does stimulate healthy bile flow. Radishes, Radicchio, Basil, Thyme, and Rosemary is fantastic. You can just smell those herbs and you'll stimulate these pancreatic functions. Cilantro, Parsley, and apple cider vinegar. Incorporate all or some, and this will make a big difference on keto. Bonus tip here before we move on to number 2 is to incorporate some healthy keto sources of fiber. Here are my top 5. Avocado, pecans, steamed collard greens, steamed cauliflower, and broccoli, and raw coconut. Number 2 sneaky mistake is that you're chasing ketones. We don't chase ketones here at Keto Camp, we chase results. We don't necessarily want high amounts of ketones in the bloodstream because that means your brain is not using it. We want an optimal level of ketones. I have a whole video all about this. You could click this tab here and watch it after this video to see the breakdown, but I'm gonna give you the synopsis right here. The sweet spot I've seen for blood ketones, which is the most accurate way to test blood over breath and urine, the sweet spot is going to be somewhere between 0.8 and 2.8 BHB, beta-hydroxybutyrate, in the blood. We also want to make sure our glucose is in the optimal range, because if you have high glucose and high ketones, that's not natural, and your body will prioritize getting rid of the glucose over the ketones, because glucose is a toxic fuel source. So your optimal levels of glucose during a fast, in a fasted state, is going to be somewhere between 72 and 92. So if you're hitting those numbers, you're doing some good work. If you're not, there's some work to do, and the remaining tips in this video will help you get to those numbers. Number 3 is you're focusing on the scale. The number on the scale should not determine whether or not something is working. It should not determine your value. In my Keto Camp Academy, I talk all about non-scale victories. I talk all about focusing on other amazing benefits happening to you right now. The scale can fluctuate for so many reasons, and it'll just drive you nuts. You could be sore from a workout. You'll retain water, the scale will go up. It could be your monthly cycle. Your scale will go up. It could be stress, a poor night of sleep. Your scale will go up. So pay attention to your energy levels. Pay attention to your confidence, your clothes, the way your clothes fits on you. Take some photos, take some measurements. I teach this, by the way, in my Keto Jumpstart, which is a 28-day jumpstart, which I teach you for 28 days how to master keto, how to do fasting. If you want to get that at 92% off, it's normally 97 bucks one-time payment. You could get that for 92% off for one payment of $7 by going to startketocamp.com to learn more about that. But what I talk about is getting these blood measurements done. Request this from your doctor. This is looking at inflammation in the body. This is more important than the number of the scale. So here are the markers I recommend you get from your doctor. High sensitivity C-reactive protein, A1C. Get your body fat percentage done. Measure your butt, your hips, your thighs, your neck. Take photos, front, side, back. They're just for you to have. Look at your homocysteine levels. Look at your NMR profile, which is nuclear magnetic resonance, looking at your LDL particles. Get an insulin resistant test like HOMA-IR, and look at your vitamin D. Those are much more important to look at than the number on the scale. Number 4 mistake that might be causing weight gain and crappy results on keto is you're doing dirty keto. When you go on Dr. Google and say, what is the keto diet? You're going to get over 100 million results, and not all that information is going to be the information you need. A lot of people are teaching keto the dirty way. So here's a list of dirty keto foods that you can find, by the way, in my Keto Kickstart Guide. If you want to get that for free, go to ketokickstartguide.com. We want to make sure we're avoiding the inflammatory fats, the vegetable oils. Here's a list of the toxic fats on keto that will cause inflammation and will prevent you from getting the results you want. Canola oil, corn oil, soybean oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, peanut oil, safflower oil. Those are the bad fats. Also, it's probably a good idea for you to limit or avoid pasteurized dairy. It can create an inflammatory response in some people. We want to make sure we're avoiding most of the sugar alcohols, most of the artificial sweeteners, with the exception of monk fruit. That's okay. Stevia, that's fine, and erythritol are fine, but the other ones will create a glucose and insulin response and might cause inflammation in some people. We want to have the healthy keto fats. You're probably thinking, what are those? Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, grass-fed ghee. These are the healthy fats. This is healthy keto. Organic grass-fed meat, organic pastured eggs, wild-caught fish. You'll see a list of this in my Keto Kickstart guide. So transition, if you're having the dirty keto items, transition to the healthier keto items. You'll reduce inflammation, you'll burn fat. Number 5 mistake on keto is ignoring the fundamentals. We want to build a strong foundation so we could start adding supplements and other things, fasting, exercise into the mix, and then that will work so much better. So here are the fundamentals to focus on when it comes to health. Your sleep and your stress, which go hand in hand. Look, sleep is more important than diet and exercise combined. So make sure you're getting quality sleep every single night. There's a ton of videos on this channel on how to get better sleep. I have a best-selling book on Amazon called The Power of Sleep, which you could get 5 chapters all about sleep. I'll put a link down below. Make sure your stress is optimal, because if you're stressed out, if you're watching the news all the time, if you're in a stressful relationship, you'll raise cortisol, glucose and insulin follow, ketones drop, inflammation goes up, you don't get the results you want. So movement is also one of the fundamentals. Movement over exercise, hydration, high quality, the right type of water. So build that foundation, and then you can start adding everything else into the mix and you'll master keto. Number 6 is going to be, you don't have a toxin protocol in place. Look, the body stores toxins in your fat cells. Why does it do that? Well, when toxins enter the body from breathing, from eating, drinking, or even touching the skin, the body does not want those toxins to enter vital organs. It wants to survive. It's not stupid. So it'll activate the PPARY pathway, take those toxins, put it into your fat cells, or even create new fat cells for those toxins to go into. Not good. But when we start burning our fat cells on keto, which you will do, congratulations, what happens is those toxins end up in the bloodstream, because your body cannot burn toxins, but it can burn fat. And if you don't have a toxin protocol in place, you'll auto-intoxicate, raise inflammation, gain weight, and feel like crap. So that's where the bitters, tip number 1, come into play, because bile can remove those toxins. But also, I love a great trio called my fasting trio, which is a fast tonic, cyto detox, and bind, which works as a trifecta to remove toxins from the body. So when somebody's on keto and they're burning a lot of fat, it's important to have a toxin protocol in place, or I should say a removal of toxin protocol in place. If you want to learn more about the fasting trio, I'll put a link for it down below so you can check it out if it fits your budget. I got 3 more tips for you here. So thankful that you're stuck around so far. Please consider hitting that thumbs up button if you've gotten any value from this video so far, and subscribe to the Keto Camp YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button with that bell so you're notified when I go live and release a new video. By the way, we go live here on Keto Camp YouTube channel every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time, so put it in your calendar. Number 7 is going to be consuming too much fat. Look, when somebody looks up keto and they say, okay, 80% needs to come from fat, about 15% from protein, 5% from carbohydrates, what they fail to acknowledge is that the fat you get on keto can come from that plate of food in front of you, that fatty cup of coffee, that butter, that cheese, or that fat could come from your body, from your hips, from your thighs. It's your choice. So keto is not a diet. Keto is a metabolic process. It's a metabolic state that has been around since humans have existed. It's about bringing your carbohydrates low enough to tap into your fat stores, break triglycerides, tell that liver to produce ketones to fire up that brain. So it's not about eating a whole bunch of fat. Your body needs to burn that fat you eat before it goes to your body fat. So you might be overdoing it. That might be causing a mistake. So lower your fat and see how you do. Number 8, which is perfect from number 7, is to start pairing intermittent fasting with your ketogenic lifestyle if you haven't done so already. A lot of people think intermittent fasting is about eating less and cutting calories. Not necessarily so. Intermittent fasting is not about eating less. Intermittent fasting is about eating less often, going a period of time where your body drops glucose, drops insulin, crushes fat cells, and recycles its damaged cells via autophagy and apoptosis. So we want to make sure we're doing intermittent fasting if you're not doing it already. My favorite intermittent fasting schedule for most people is an 18-6 format, meaning 18 hours out of the day, you're fasted. You're having just water and some sea salt. And then 6 hours out of the day, you're having your keto meals. So what that would look like on your calendar would be 12 to 6 p.m. eating window. Maybe you have 2 keto meals in there. And then 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. the next day is your fasting window. That will make a big difference. If you're already doing that, then throw in a 24-hour fast or a 36-hour fast once per week and watch your body blast fat, recycle cells, and you're gonna feel great. All right, we are up to number 9, which is the final tip here and the most controversial one, and that's going to be that you might be in ketosis too long. Maybe it's time for you to break ketosis. I know, what a shocker. Ben from Keto Camp is telling you it's not good to stay into ketosis too long. Look, when we look at ancient culture, we know that every culture, all of your ancestors, they were in a state of ketosis. We know that, making keto not a fad, but a fact. We also know that when they had fruits and carbohydrates available to them, they ate that and they got out of ketosis. That's why when I teach keto flexing. So if you've been in ketosis for too long, what is too long? I don't know, 4 to 5 months maybe? Over a year, definitely too long. There's 2 problems that occur when you are in ketosis too long. Number 1, you could see a reduction in thyroid hormone T3. T3 is the active form of thyroid. Every cell has a receptor site for T3, burns fat, helps you feel good. Well, guess what makes that conversion from T4, which is the inactive form of thyroid, to T3? Do you know what makes that conversion? Insulin. So if we have chronically low levels of insulin, I believe that conversion will suffer and you actually can feel worse on keto and gain weight. That's the first problem. The second problem is your body will slow down fat burning if you are in ketosis too long. I know that sounds crazy, but here's what happens. All the body wants to do is survive. That is the number 1 priority for the innate intelligence. So if you've only been burning fat, been in ketosis for too long, you've taught the body that fat is your only fuel source. So it wants to preserve that fuel source. So the analogy I'm going to give you is this, that I got from my mentor, Dr. Pampa. Think of a person who's storing firewood during the summer to prepare for the cold winter months. And this person has now stored about 20 logs of fire to get through 4 or 5 months of cold, brutal winter temperatures. Do you think this person is going to be very motivated to burn that firewood? They only have 20 logs for the entire winter season. Of course not. They're going to slow down that burning as much as possible. Well, your body's doing the same thing when you're only burning fat. It's going to slow down fat burning as much as possible. In fact, what happens is these cells insert water and it blunts the receptor sites and it can slow down fat burning as a result. So you might get that dimply fat. I've seen it. But here's the analogy, going back to that analogy, when you incorporate a day or 2 out of the week, which I call a keto flex day, where you intentionally get out of ketosis and have a little bit more high healthy carbs, it's like ramping up fat burning. It's like a buddy now coming over to this person's house and dumping 100 logs of firewood. Now they have 120 logs. They're going to be more motivated and inspired to burn that firewood because there's an abundance of it. That's what happens when you throw in a high healthy carb day. So if you've been in ketosis too long, if you suspect it, maybe the the outer layer of your eyebrows are thinning, you're cold all the time, these are signs that you need to change things up and maybe throw in a feast flex day is what I call it. I hope this makes a lot of sense to you. Let me know, by the way, in the comments, comment down below, which one of these 9 sneaky mistakes resonated with you the most. Was it number 1, the sluggish bile and having more bitters? Was it number 2, chasing ketones? Was it number 3, non-scale victories and the blood markers I mentioned? Was it number 4, dirty keto versus clean keto? Was it number 5, the foundations and focusing on the fundamentals of health? Was it number 6, not having a detox protocol in place? Was it number 7, eating too much fat? Was it number 8, pairing intermittent fasting and my favorite fasting schedule? Or was it the number 9 controversial one of staying in ketosis too long and breaking that ketosis? Let me know down below with a comment. Please hit a thumbs up button on this video and subscribe to the channel. I want to teach you, by the way. I have a 28-day keto jumpstart where I have 50+ videos there. I guide you for 4 weeks and show you how to blast fat, do fasting and keto the right way. There's 50+ videos in there that you cannot find anywhere. There's meal plans, shopping guides, books, and more. There is a whole bunch of videos on the most commonly asked questions on keto and fasting. I have a special for you, Keto Camper, because I'm so grateful you watched the entire video. This is $97, a one-time payment. But for you, if you go to startketocamp.com, you could get in at 92% off, one payment of just $7 to get all this information and learn more about keto and fasting the right way. Head to startketocamp.com. I want to thank you so much for watching this entire video. please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.